Hello, I'm Benny Westside, and welcome to the crash course for the Ancient One. Today we're going to talk about the Ancient One's abilities, T4 upgrades, ISO 8 options, Dark Dimension prospects, levels, gear, and then I'll talk about my plan and why. um, what you see on screen is my crash course infographic. I put these out alongside the videos every time a character gets released or reworked, and I'll link it in the description below. If you can support me, I would appreciate it. I'm getting close to the 6,000 mark on Instagram and the 3,000 mark on YouTube, and I'll take all the help that I can get, and I'll appreciate it. All right. The graphic is more of like a reference sheet that you can have, and then the video today we're gonna talk about uh, more detail how I come up with some of these decisions, so you can um, you know hear more about my reasonings.
Let's start, shall we?
Master of the Mystic Arts. Doctor Strange's passive is Master of the Arcane Arts. I feel like now that we're over, I think 300 characters, it must be getting harder and harder for them to come up with ability names. Like Dakin and Craven had the same special name. I think they changed it, but I think they're running out of names. They started putting in names from Pokemon abilities, like Kestrel has Aerial Ace, um, Shadow King has Shadow Ball. So we're looking out into more um, franchises. Anyway, okay. Tangent. Master of the Mystic Arts. On turn, flip heal block on self and all allies. In Battle World, on spawn, apply safeguard to self and all astral allies. On turn, prolong the duration of all buffs on self and all astral allies. That's really nice. That's also in Battle World only. While this character has counter, reduce enemy crit chance by 50%. That's big, especially into something like um, Cabal. That's nice. I mean, it also reduces damage, but like those characters have also functionality with it. Anyway, gain 100% chance to counterattack, and then gain 25% crit damage. The focus of this character and each Astral ally can only be reduced by offense down. If you didn't know, offense down reduces focus by 50%, I believe. And I think right now, off the top of my head, Apocalypse is the only character that specifically reduces focus. But so this is to counteract something like that. So this passive has a T4 upgrade and an Awakened upgrade. I will do a quick spiel on the Awakened. Or I generally don't like to put Essential. For this one, I put Essential, but in red, which means Essential for War. So if you don't care about war, if you're not in a place where you can worry about war yet, those don't mean anything for you. This team's awakened abilities, I think this is one of the best implementation of awakening. All they do is expand the battle world callout into war. Other than that, for Crucible, for raid arena maybe, Dark Dimension, those awakened upgrades have no bearing. So keep that in mind. That's why like on the graphic when you see essential in red, it means essential for war. It doesn't mean, oh, I have to go out of my way to get this awakened ability. All right. Where are we? Alright, T4 upgrade for the passive. In Battle World, if this character has 3 or more astral allies, at the start of any match, enemy characters cannot spawn with taunt. I think this is very, very, very nice. Conditional, like especially into Null, there's not going to be any taunters, but maybe like those Herald missions or whatever they're called might have gladiators and things like that. So for those, this might end up being quite crucial. And then on self and astral ally crit, generate one ability energy for self and all astral allies. I think this ability is essential. Just she's gonna be the battery. Um, the crit mechanic generating ability energy for the whole team, and it's going to be very frequent. I think this is essential. That way you get to your abilities more often. And then this battle world, the taunt prevention on spawn, like at face value, it might seem like but they probably put those pre-taunts in those nodes to stump us. So I think overall this is an essential upgrade. And then when we look at the awakening, it's gonna give the safeguard on spawn. It's gonna prevent the taunt, and then it also gives her the buff extension. I think for the purposes of war, this is I would say this is again, it's so hard for me to say this awakened ability is essential because I hate to say that we don't know how it's going to be unlocked. But if it's a reasonable way of getting it, I will recommend that you go after this one if you care about war. That's a lot of ifs, a lot of clauses, a lot of prerequisites. But I'm being honest with you. All right. Now let's look at her special. Serene Devastation. Flip all buffs into debuffs on all enemies. This is very nice. It does the same thing Doctor Strange's special does, but okay. Attack all enemies for piercing plus % damage. Apply heal block for 2 turns. This attack gains extra crit damage, which is nice. She's gonna apply counter to self on all allies. Tag blind, that's very nice. In Battle World, she's gonna apply speed up to self on all allies. This is not a very slow team, but it's a slower team. In fact, like in testing, one of their biggest pitfalls is their speed. So the fact that we're getting that in Battle World, I think, is very good. I kind of wish it was in all game modes, but okay. This attack is unavoidable and unblockable. The T4 adds 50% piercing to all enemies. That's nice, but it also takes the counter from 1 to 3. This can be so powerful depending on who she's with. I mean, obviously on her team it's great, but you can run her with maybe Secret Defenders. Those characters all love counters because they get charges on their ISO attacks. Yeah, like you could put different characters here, or you could run her, like you could sub somebody out and bring in like just off the top of my head, somebody like a Morgan Le Fay who does 10% damage, or like Jubilee who does, I'm not saying put Jubilee with her, but just like in terms of potentials, if Jubilee was a strong character, having that blind on counters would have been nice. So that's why on the graphic as well, I call this very potent. It can do a lot of things, but you have to find those things and like pair her with the characters where you want those 3 counters. All right, the awakened ability, I mentioned the speed up. It extends the speed up into war. I think for the purposes of war, for this team to be a higher tier team, we need that speed up. They're slow. So for war, I would say this is essential. I would prioritize that speed up over this if a situation presents itself where it's one or the other. I don't know what type of event they do. Would I personally pay for this? No. I'm kind of in a stingy phase, especially regarding this game right now. So right now, I don't think I would pay for this. In another moment in MSF's history, maybe I would pay $5 for this. I don't know. Right now, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't pay for it, but let me tell you, this is what brings them online for war. All right. Let's look at the ultimate. Arcane Rain comes on turn 2. Attack primary for 225% piercing. Rebound Chain to 3 adjacent targets for more piercing, attack the most injured enemy again for piercing, and then apply stun and reduce speed bar by 50%. Apply safeguard to self and all astral allies in all game modes. Counterattack breaks this chain. The T4 upgrade adds extra damage, which is great, and then it reduces the speed by bar 100% instead of 50%. Now, if it went from 0 to 50, that 50 is a big deal. I think going from 50% reduction to 100% reduction is less sparkly, let's say. It's less enticing because oftentimes for this to matter, like that character would have had to have a very full speed bar, and generally, like if you rewind by 50%, you're probably rewinding them almost to 0. So that extra 50% isn't, I wouldn't say, essential. So I'm not going to put essential on it, but I will recommend it. I'll personally do it. But I'm just saying, like, if you're so strapped for T4, I have like, I think 6,000, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I tend to be stingy with them, so I have a lot of stock and I can use it. But I see people that run out of T4s. They have like 100 T4s. So if you're one of those, this is one where you can save a little bit. Okay, that's what I'm saying. All right, basic soul strength. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 100%, 150% piercing. Apply 2 bleed. On crit, apply an additional bleed to that character. When forced to attack an ally, this deals less to astral characters. It's kind of just bleed. Okay. The T4 upgrade adds more damage and then additional bleed if she crits. It's fine. It's a nice upgrade. Not essential. I just want to note this clause about when forced to attack an ally, dealing less damage to astral is very battle world oriented, because in the boss, the null applies a debuff called darkness. Darkness, when a character has darkness on turn, they're gonna be mind controlled to attack an ally. So this reduces the effect of those darkness debuffs, which is great. And then another thing, this team has a lot, like in terms of trends for Battle World or for Null specifically. A lot of their abilities have these like 3%, 5% max health hits. Those are all for Null because you can do percent damage on Null, but it's capped at a number. And like somebody like Apocalypse doing 60% is going to be the same as the Ancient One doing 5% because of that cap. But peppering those in means a lot of your abilities are doing the max damage to Null for that turn. Doctor Strange's basic and special have it. Moondragon's basic and special have it. Ancient One's special has it. So it is very nice. And it's helpful in Battle World, especially against Null. So keep all of that in mind. All right. I think we beat the abilities to death, right? All right. Isolate classes. I think it's pretty clear, right, that she needs to be a raider. She already has boosted crit damage. She has extra crit damage in some of her abilities. And most importantly, we talked about this, when this character or an astral ally crits, she's going to generate ability energy. And then all of her abilities are multi-hits. So actually, yes, basic and adjacent, primary and adjacent. So all of her abilities are multi-hits. She's a shoo-in for a raider. In fact, I'll recommend for the team you want to have at least 3 raiders, if not more. And I discussed those options in the other characters videos. So check out Doctor Strange and Moondragon, who already should be out, and then Emma and Shadow King should come when those characters release. Yeah, so Raider, I don't think there's alternates for her, whereas for some of the others there might be. Alright. Building. She's a damage dealer. She's gonna take all the resource you put in her, and then she's gonna slap the enemies with it. So do as much as you can, or are willing to, or are able to. That's my take on it. I personally, when I unlock her, I'm gonna go all the way. Level 100, gear 19, Raider, probably purple too at this point. Yeah, I think she's gonna be very powerful, and she's gonna rely on stats for that. Speaking of what I'm gonna do, yeah, I'll do that. I'll take her all the way. I don't know if I'm gonna buy her. I still haven't decided. Well, let me tell you, I'm not gonna spend $50 on her, but would I do one of those like $15 offers that, you know, this new release strategy? No, I'm not. I won't be spending $50, and I don't have the cores to core her orb. So I guess we got through this together. I guess I'm just gonna unlock her naturally, and then I'll build her. Yeah. So that's my plan. We planned it together. But yeah. Oh, Dark Dimension. Oh my god. Yes. Alright, Dark Dimension. I don't think she's a good choice for Dark Dimension. She's 122, which, you know, like, it's tough to say slow, but it's slower. The global sections generally suffer a lot in speed. And she doesn't have self-sustain. She doesn't have a lot of control. She does have a stun and a rewind. It's nice, but it's on a big cooldown. I won't recommend her. Globals generally have been hard sections because of the speed of the characters we have available, and I don't think she has much to help with that, especially without many of her teammates. You can't run Moondragon or Strange with her. You can run Emma Frost, I think, and then Shadow King doesn't qualify. So, yeah, I would say no. Sorry, but yeah, I think that about covers it. That was the ancient one, but I know you were mostly here for the Turkish delight, so thank you for coming. Thank you for discussing with me, and I hope to see you in the next one.
You and I are going to be seeing each other again very soon, aren't we?